Hello, online pipe community. It is Ethan, Parsimonious Piper here. It's been a week. I'm recovered from a week-long bout with COVID. Kids got it. They gave it to our grandson. Grandson gave it to my wife. Wife gave it to me. Been fever-free for a little over 24 hours. Still have a dry cough and I'm still tired, but other than that, we're doing all right. So, back in the saddle. Missed you guys. Haven't been watching that many videos. I commented on a few, but I've just been out of it. Today we do have some morsels for mental manducation. But first, in a little Briar Lee stroller, which is their nose warmer models, I have got some Tricker & Sons Blair Gowrie, nice Scottish blend. Seems fitting on an overcast day to have something with a little perique in it, a little spice to it. I like that. School district here in North Carolina is finally showing other school districts around the country the correct response to mass shooters, or at least one correct response to school shooters. They have installed AR-15s in every public school in the county. Kudos to them. They are in lockboxes accessible by the school resource officers who are trained in their use. It is a fantastic response. This is exactly what we need in every school in the country. We have the money to do it. We don't have the political willpower. Our kids are important. Let your local school district know they should be considering something along these lines. While we're in the violence category, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, the Albuquerque, New Mexico Police Department came on the airwaves nationwide to warn that there was an apparent serial killer in the Albuquerque area targeting Muslim men. Our president wasted no time whatsoever in leaving his commentary. Let's quote him. "These hateful attacks have no place in America." Vice President, of course, followed suit. Hate has no place in America. How incredibly disappointed they must have been to find out that the serial killer killing Muslim men in Albuquerque was himself a Muslim man. No racism, no white supremacy to deal with, no evil conservatives, just apparently a Sunni Muslim who was upset that his daughter had married a Shiite. Have not, since that revelation was made, heard the same people denounce the internecine warfare and violence that goes on even here in the United States between Muslims. You see, if your perpetrator isn't a white, conservative, Christian male, then all of a sudden you lose interest in the violence and the killings. It's a shame because this was, in fact, hateful and bigoted. But it was a bigotry based on religion here in the U.S., and that has no place here in the U.S. Our country, one of the linchpins of our country is religious tolerance. That's not a value in places where many of our immigrants come from. It needs to be taught. Moving on. Let's talk about CDC information. Now, as I found out, a few weeks ago. The CDC doesn't like it, even if you contradict, or the YouTube folks don't like it. If you provide information from studies that are published by reputable experts, not right-wing centers, places like Stanford, MIT, you're not allowed to, those people are no longer experts in their fields if they contradict in any way the CDC. So we're going to stick to CDC information. First of all, the CDC has declared monkeypox to be a health emergency here in the United States. Links will be included. Flies are going to drive me crazy. Let's take a look at what the CDC report itself actually says. And I'll be reading some of this because I want to make sure that I don't make any claims that contradict the CDC. According to the CDC, 99% of monkeypox cases have occurred in men. Breaking that down by available data, 94% have occurred in men who have reported having sex with another man within the 3 weeks prior to onset of symptoms. 73% had anywhere from 2 to 10 or more partners. And 38% acknowledged having engaged in that time frame in group sex. Now, this is not an anti-homosexual study. This is the CDC's raw numbers. In fact, it's not anti-homosexual at all. It is anti-promiscuity. And if you recall from, if your sex education was anything like mine, one of the things they told us in high school was that every time you have sex, you are not just having sex with that one person, but with all of that person's partners throughout medical history. So putting that in context here, even if you think that you are a monogamous person, you are still having sex with whoever that person has had sex with. And it would be interesting, in fact, to find out among the non-male, the very small number of non-male, or male but not having acknowledged having sex with another man, among those cases, how many of those people had sex with someone, another female, for example, or in the case of a male, who did in turn have sex with a man, whether they knew it or not, who had sex with other men? That kind of contact tracing would be, I think, would be very interesting and very likely instructive. So as I said, this is not something that's just an anti-gay piece. It's the CDC's own truth, their numbers. And it's interesting that something that is affecting a very small segment of the population is considered to be a public health emergency. I'll let you decide based on your own lifestyle choices whether this is a high-risk item for you. I won't make any claims. Last but not least, another CDC item. This one's so much fun. I'm going to show you 2 screenshots, and we're going to play Can You Spot the Differences? The first screenshot was the last update from January 4th of the CDC's mRNA vaccine site, culled from an online archive. Take a look here. This next one is from an update they pushed out in July. Take another few seconds look. All right, did you spot the differences? If not, go back and take a look again. And I'll highlight them for you. Major differences between these two. In the center section of the screen, it used to read, "They do not affect or interact with our DNA in any way." In the newest version, they have stricken "in any way," which to a casual observer would cause you to ask the question, well, then in what way do they interact with our DNA if you're no longer telling us that they don't interact in any way? Inquiring minds would like to know. Just as big, if you notice, there's an entire section missing now. A couple of bullet points. The main heading was the mRNA and the spike protein don't last long in the body. Bullet point 1, our cells break down mRNA and get rid of it within a few days after vaccination. Bullet point 2, scientists estimate that the spike protein, like other proteins our bodies create, may stay in the body up to a few weeks. That entire section has been stricken. I'm just curious why. See, people outside the CDC have been saying that those things aren't accurate since the vaccines first came out, based on their knowledge of mRNA vaccines. And now the CDC has removed that information from its own page. Will any of those people who had been deplatformed or given strikes by YouTube get a second hearing now? Now that they are no longer contradicting the CDC, but the CDC has changed what it puts out there? It's just very interesting to me because those are some of the concerns that a lot of people have about these vaccines, and that information is no longer there. And of course, I'm making no claims, so I cannot be contradicting the CDC. Simply giving you the information that they do or don't have available anymore. And with that, it's an overcast day here, but I tell you what, the temperatures have dropped 20 degrees in the last couple of weeks. It's nice not having the heat index over 100 with all that humidity here. Yeah, it's a gorgeous day. So, light something you like. I like this Blair Gowrie. Drucker and Sons puts together some good stuff. Enjoy your afternoon.